got nothing to do. You tell me you love me, I go start the coffee. Sunday morning, easy love with you. Okay, okay, okay. I'm your sunshine mixed with a little hurricane, white hot angel with a daredevil's brain. This feeling, I just can't fight it. You know all the ways I like it. My north, you're my south, you're my east, you're my west. When you see me at my worst, try to make me feel my best. This love, we just can't deny it. You know all the ways I like it. You holding me, tangled up in these sheets, holding you, holding me, easy love. Wednesday night just hanging out, us two. Just got home and you turn on some blues. Then tell me you're hungry, I go order Chinese. Wednesday night it's easy love with you. Okay, okay, okay. I'm your sunshine mixed with a little hurricane, white hot angel with a daredevil's brain. This feeling, I just can't fight it. You know all the ways I like it. My north, you're my south, you're my east, you're my west. When you see me at my worst, try to make me feel my best. This love, we just can't deny it. You know all the ways I like it. You holding me, tangled up in these sheets, holding you, holding me, easy love. You holding me, tangled up in these sheets, holding you, holding me, easy love. Like a drop.
Hey guys, it's me, Camille, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about what LA has taught me. That's a tough one. It's a pretty crazy roller coaster. If you guys don't know, I did take a trip to LA back in November, and it was the best time of my life. I want to give you guys a little bit of a background and a little bit of what LA taught me, and I'm gonna keep it short and I'm gonna keep it sweet for this video because I don't want it to be like a rant or anything. But I think that it's really important to just share my experiences and my lessons with people, because honestly, when I listen to people's experiences and lessons, it teaches me a lot as well. And it definitely allows me to be optimistic to new opportunities that I could possibly have. So with all that being said, let's just get into the video on what LA has taught me, what the lessons are. This is a crazy one. Okay, alrighty guys, so I want to give you guys a little bit of a background on LA and like that aspect of it. Ever since I was a kid, like before I could possibly remember, I've always wanted to live in LA, in California, just live in the overall state of California. That's where I've always wanted to live, but I always wanted to live in LA for a period of time. I don't know why, it's always been something I've always wanted to do, and even since a young age, I wanted to get a quote from The Weeknd tattooed on me that said, order plane tickets, Cali is the mission, because it has always been my dream to move to California, and it was always The Weeknd's dream to move to California as well. So it has always been a dream of mine. You can even look back at old YouTube videos where I discussed about California and LA, so it's not something that just kind of up and popped in my brain. And then one day I had already started my spiritual journey, and if you guys are not a spiritual person, you guys may not resonate with this part of it, but I had a calling, like a hunch, a feeling like I was like definitely need to follow my gut. And I was in class and my teacher was talking about Thanksgiving break, and I decided that I wanted to just go on vacation for Thanksgiving break, and I've never done anything like that. I was just like, I'm gonna go on vacation, I don't know where, but I'm just gonna go. And then I obviously later on down the line was like, you know what, I really want to go to LA, I am going to go to LA. what my parents don't know is that I went to LA completely by myself, and honestly I don't care that they know that, or they do or don't know that, because they have a different perspective on things. But I always knew that I was going to be okay and that things were going to work out for me, and I didn't know why I was getting this calling to go to LA, but it was just that I needed to go there. And obviously it's during a pandemic, COVID time, so like that was just difficult in itself, like trying to convince my parents. And then I ended up manifesting a person into my life, and she is obviously the best person ever, like love her. Things happened, but I ended up manifesting that relationship, that friendship into my life, and it so happened that she lived in Los Angeles. And so I'm like, this is literally fucking perfect. I met somebody that they're just the sweetest. I love them so much, and then I you know, ended up picking this place, and they happened to live there, and so obviously when I got there we linked up, and then the rest is memories. And I would just like to say thank you so much to everybody that was involved in that trip, everybody that was involved in the photo shoots, everyone that was involved in the process, the planning that trip, everything. I just want to say thank you to everybody, thank you to the universe, just thank you, because if it was not for that trip, I would not be who I am today. If it was not for my life playing out how it does, I would not be who I am today. And so for that, I'm forever grateful for all the experiences, all the people, all the lessons, everything that happened. I'm so grateful, because I've learned so much about myself, and I don't know what I would do if I didn't have that trip. You know, I don't know where I would be in my life if I didn't have that trip. I don't know where I would be in my life if I didn't meet those people, if I didn't meet the people that helped me plan the trip. I don't know where I would be without the whole entire experience. It was the best thing that could have happened to me. It was the best moments of my life, and I'll never forget that. So with all that being said, you guys kind of know like the background of like LA and like where my head is at with everything. Moving to LA and all that other stuff is like a different conversation for a different video that I definitely want to film, because I feel like so many people are asking me questions regarding it, and they're just, and it's a lot for me, and I think a YouTube video would be a great way to just like release all that like shit that I have going on with LA, because it's fucking crazy. But sis is still moving to LA, so that's exciting. But other than that, I would like to tell you guys some of the lessons that LA has taught me. And when I say LA, I don't mean like, oh, the city of LA. I mean the experience, like the whole entire experience, what this trip has taught me. I hope that other people are able to experience something like this, and they're able to learn and be able to kind of have the moments that I had, the aha moments that I had, because if it wasn't for this trip, like I said, I would not be here today. So let's talk about the lessons that LA has taught me. Lesson number one is so cliche, so stupid, but it taught me this. And when I mean taught me this, that means I learned it and I know it, and I'm gonna follow by it, if that makes any sense. But LA has taught me to follow my dreams. I think that's a general statement, but if it was not for LA, I don't think I would have put my dreams in gear. I have goals, I have dreams that I thought that I could never reach. If it wasn't for LA, it wasn't for my spirituality, and it wasn't for the people and the experience, I would have never, ever found out what my true calling was, what my true passion was, what I wanted to do for a career. I would have never, ever known that. And so that's why I'm just like, it's so important for you guys to take the opportunities when presented. If your gut tells you to do it, if your spiritual guides are telling you to do it, if Jesus is telling you to do it, fucking do it, because let me tell you something, it's gonna teach you a lesson. It's gonna teach you something that you're gonna use later on down the line. Now that I know that there is no goal, there is no dream that is out of reach of me. If you have a dream, you have a goal, you need to follow that. There is literally no such thing as failure. You're failing if you do not try. Lesson number two that LA has taught me is there is a whole world out there other than your little city you grew up in. Because I have came across people who they love this city. They love their small city. They don't want to go anywhere. They want to build their life here, and they're okay with continuing their life here. And you know, everything works for different people, and that's fine. But I guess my whole entire life I was just thinking that I was gonna go to school, I was gonna get married, I was gonna have kids, and I was gonna live in the city of Pittsburgh for the rest of my life. That there is no other thing besides the city of Pittsburgh. This is my home. This is all you get. There is nothing more than the city of Pittsburgh. And when you grew up in a city for your whole entire life, you kind of know what I mean. You know the same people, you see the same people, you take the same roads, you know the same schools that are down the street, you know that everyone you went to high school with is really, they all live in this vicinity. Like, yeah, let's be real, like some people go away, but most people, they stay and they have kids, and they, you know, like especially where I live. Sounds so dumb, but it's like I just always thought there was a city of Pittsburgh and that was all I was getting. There's just so much to life. There's so much that life has to offer, and you just have to want to see it. Lesson number 3 that I've learned from LA is to be yourself. Like I said, it sounds so fucking cliche. Be yourself, because there is no one else like you. In high school, I grew up hating myself, and I grew up just envious of others. I had no love for myself. I had a lot going on in high school. Like, I just had a lot internally that was going on. And so I guess at the age of 18, being able to like step out and like see this shit and just like experience it, it was just like, wow, Camille, you've been living your life in a lie. There is no one else like you. There's no replica like you, so you better just be yourself. You know what I mean? Like, at a young age, especially your teenage years, you really want to be everybody else but yourself. You're always like, why can't I have my hair like this? Why can't my... You need to be yourself, because there is no one else like you, and you need to love yourself. And for me, I didn't learn this lesson. I didn't learn the lesson of be yourself until I got to experience LA by myself. Lesson number 4 is that LA is my home. And what I mean by that is that LA is my next chapter. LA is going to be the next place that I call home. I don't see myself ever staying in the same city for like too long, but I see myself living in the state of California, just as like my home, you know? And as far as cities, I see myself like just being able to live wherever, you know? It's just that I learned that LA like is my home, you know? Like, everyone feels like somewhere is their home. Like, people feel like the city of Pittsburgh is their home, the city of Chicago is their home, the city of Miami, the city of Orlando. Like, they feel like wherever their little small town, city, space, whatever the fuck, they feel like that is their home. And if you don't feel like that is your home, I recommend you to find somewhere that is your home. Find somewhere that you are getting a calling to, that's your place, that you feel so at home. These are your people. This is where you want to live the rest of your life. I see myself traveling. I don't see myself ever like staying somewhere for so long, but I see myself like living in the state of California. That is my home. That is my home, and just like traveling out of the state of California, you know? Another thing is to listen to yourself and what you want, which is also following your dreams. And I've had people and parents and mentors and everything say to me like, oh, well, you know, it's cheaper to live in the city of Pittsburgh and cheaper to live in the state of Pennsylvania, so you should probably just live here and then just fly out. And I'm like, that's what you want for yourself though. Like, you think that the city of Pittsburgh is your home, and this feels like this has been your home for so long, but for me, it doesn't. I've lived here for 18 years and it has not been my home. It hasn't felt like my home. I went to LA for 4 days, and the feeling of home, of this is where I belong, was insane. And no one else gets to dictate that. That's another thing. It's like, fuck what everyone else has to feel. No one gets to dictate how you feel about something else. And that's another thing that LA has taught me. Like, fuck how everyone else has to feel. I'm living my life for me. Let me live my life for me, please. Thank you. I guess where I could leave this off at is that I am extremely grateful. Extremely grateful. extremely thankful and extremely excited to start my new chapter in LA. I'm excited to do it. I'm excited to move. I'm excited to be where I belong. You know, that feeling is great, and I'm so glad I get to call this place my home. The last thing that LA has taught me is what I want out of life, and it has given me clarity. I think that everyone is going to have a moment in their life where they get clarity on something, or they learn a huge lesson that they needed to learn. It's a part of life. And for me, that was experiencing my first vacation, my first thing that I've ever did by myself. Like, I put the whole trip together by myself. I paid for the whole trip by myself, and for me, that was it. I got clarity from that. And I have a lot of issues at home. I have a lot of childhood trauma, as well as not the best relationships with my parents and family members. And so for me, to get that clarity on that aspect of my life and like what I want from that, like, it was just like, oh yeah, like I know where I need to be now. I know what I need for me. And at the end of the day, I'm living my life for me, not for anybody else, and fuck how anybody else has to feel about that. For me, getting that clarity on some of the things that I really needed to see, realizing where I needed to be and where I wanted to be was huge for me. I think that the biggest thing that LA has taught me is that you need to live your life for you and not for anybody else. I will never forget that trip to LA, even though I'm moving there. I'll never forget it. I'll never forget the people. I'll never forget the experiences. I'll never forget that, because like, everything happens for a reason. But if it wasn't for that trip, like, I would not be making this video right now, and I would not believe in myself. I wouldn't believe that I could be a YouTuber. I wouldn't believe I could be a photographer. I wouldn't believe I could help people. I wouldn't believe I could advocate for mental health. I wouldn't believe that personal development is my niche. I would never believe that. So thank you. Thank you to the universe. Thank you to all the people involved in that trip. Thank you to all the experiences. And I just can't wait to start the next chapter of my life. If you guys liked this video, you guys liked these like talk videos, kind of like my experience lessons and like story times and all that shit, let me know. I really loved putting this video together. I loved just the whole thing about it. And I love the concept of it, and I love the message behind it. And if you didn't get the message is follow your dreams and live your life for you. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!